Okay. Okay, cool. Hey, Malcolm in the future. I used to always say that when I was in like a family recording or something, like whenever the family was getting together and like recording stuff. And I always thought it was such a funny idea at the time, just because I was like, I'm literally talking to myself in the future, because the future me is going to be watching this. And so, specifically because I know I will be watching this in the future, and because I know I don't take the advice I put into my own journal, and I find that I write really great advice for myself. I have a bad habit of taking it because, I don't know, I might have a problem with good advice. So, I'm gonna make this video to try and convince myself to listen to myself more. And I'm going to offer some advice that this advice has been reoccurring in all of the jobs that I've had since graduating college. And so, I'm just gonna get into it. Malcolm, I have like 3 pieces of advice for you right now that I feel like sometimes, like, but you definitely don't always remember. The first piece of advice, communication. I always thought that I was good at that. Turns out I can be better. And honestly, in all of my skill sets, I can be better. And I've grown so much from where I was before. However, you're going to be dealing with multiple stakeholders who are technical and non-technical, who need to understand what you're working on and need to create a solution and stuff like that. So communication is such a big thing, and I didn't realize how important it was for an engineer. I think one of the reasons why I got into engineering was because I liked math and science, and I wasn't necessarily the best writer or reader as a subject in school, and so I obviously leaned on my strengths. However, surprise, the fucking plot twist is that you need to be good at these other skills too to be a full, well-rounded engineer. And I think that advice just translates to other fields too, but this is for Malcolm in the future, and hopefully you're probably still an engineer. Okay, so the second piece, also, you already know this. This is one of the reasons why you got into this field, because you love the idea of a career that was going to help you continue your love of learning and allow you to learn new things and allow you to stay up to date, and essentially allow you to an extent, just move with the times, develop with the times. And that is not something that happens by itself. There's a lot of work that you need to put in to continue your learning. So that means reading, which again goes back to the fact that reading and writing are such important parts of being an engineer. Reading, so this reading means reading textbooks, blogs like Uber, Google, DoorDash. They have really good engineering blogs. Those are the ones that come off the top of my head. Also conferences and reading research papers. I have not done that yet, but that might be a good idea to look into the future. And also taking online courses. I feel like right now where you are, that is one way that you definitely do push yourself to learn new stuff, or at the very least, create proof of concepts so that you have some type of familiarity with the new technology. So continuous learning. So we've done communication, continuous learning. The third thing, and this is wild, and I think this is one of the pieces of advice that I often forget. Carving out your own career. You have to be so deliberate about where you want to go and what you want to do, because often rather, your managers can only help you so much. Have an idea of some of the things that you want to learn in your next step, your next career. In prior experiences, I think you've had an expectation on your managers to literally guide you along the entire way and get you to where you want to go and develop you the way you want to be developed. But here's the thing. There's been many times where you haven't had that conversation with your manager and you kind of just have this expectation on them that's not necessarily communicated. And granted, there is a minimum expectation of what managers should do, but they can only help you when they know how to, one, and they can only do so much too. Because at the end of the day, you are literally the manager of your own career, which means having an idea of where you want to go and exploring that, moving towards that direction, and being aware when you are veering off that path, and being made aware when things and stresses are taking you from that. Does that make sense? Like, having a frame of reference for what you want allows you to really stay focused on what it is that you're doing that helps you get there, and really drown out the noise with anything else. Okay, so Malcolm in the Future, those are like my tips. Yeah, those are my like real quick, like, those are like 3 quick tips that really encapsulate some of the things that you've experienced so far in your career. You're doing amazing. You got this. And you're kind of a bad bitch. So stay being a bad bitch. Look at this advice. Remember it. Implement it regularly. Offer it to other people. Because I think, especially when you're early on in your career, it's easy to forget these things, and it's easy to kind of wade in the water and let work kind of decide for you. And that is the worst way to build what you want for yourself. Yeah, that's it. Speaking of learning faster, I have to go back to work. So, bye.